There we go. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Sunday. We're here with Vexley. She is getting a beautiful celestial mermaid. For those of you who didn't already see the video of the stencil.
The ocean is like, the outer space is
it's like a wet space. The ocean is like wet space. That was his famous quote of the day.
Better than dry space.
Nobody likes a dry space. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us. Lots of people from Brazil today. Hello, hello. Brazil and Iran. We get you guys a lot. Turkey, Russia. What's going on? Hi from San Diego. Natalie Nana 21. We actually closed our books officially last night at midnight, and I will not be taking any new clients for a full year. Brian Galloway. We used to get a lot of people requesting to work at our shop as guest artists, but not so much now. Every now and then we get somebody that reaches out and asks if they can, or if they can once things go back to whatever normal is. But we used to get a lot of requests, but you know, there's so many different rules and regulations, and the health department's not even open for you to get a temporary license right now. So I don't know how that would work. Rich Led, miss you too. I actually just posted a picture of my Manitoba coffee cup this morning and said I miss my Manitoba friends. No numbing cream, guys. She's just tough. Look how much they've gotten done already. They've only been working for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
She has really healthy, resilient skin. Like, she has thick thighs, but she hasn't moved once or twitched. And you live in the desert, and you take care of your skin, you don't tan. No. So there's a lot of factors where sometimes bigger girls aren't the healthiest, and the skinny ones aren't, and their like skin is like dry, and a lot of thinner girls go. You guys are always fluctuating your weight, so a lot of times it's like big, small. It loses its elasticity. But for some reason, girls who squat have you guys are getting your omegas, and then it's just like nice and cushiony. So on arms, it's a pain in the butt. You're very lean here, so it's like the needle bounces off, or it's just like more solid. This is like, see, even though you're solid muscle, you can still squish it when it's not flexed. But don't flex on me, you'll hurt my finger. You'll break my finger.
Right.
You never know how a session's gonna go. Someone's energy, their skin. Yeah, sometimes skin is deceiving.
Natalie Nina, I'm sorry, I'm not going to approve your request to be in our video. We don't do that. And then secondly, the reason why we closed our books is because right now I'm currently booking his final few appointments for December of 2022 and January of 2023.
Not this. Some people don't listen. Not this December 2021.
Next year. He's 22 months out right now, guys.
And I only have I don't even have any real vacations. I have like 3 days off here and there. I want to go, I want a whole week in California at the beach. I want to take my family to Cocoa Beach to go hang out with Mark Longnecker, like tattoo a couple days and enjoy the ocean for a couple days. So I've just kind of pigeonholed myself. I'm very grateful, but kind of like, what did Lyle Tuttle say? He's like, oh, you're a fucking slave, Mr. Booked Out. And that's when I was only booked out a year.
Brian Galloway, the reason why our health department's not closed, they've just refocused all of their employees to working with the CDC on other things. So they're not necessarily governing the body art division right now.
What do you ask?
They said that it's interesting. Our health department is still open. How during a pandemic in Vegas can the health department justify not operating normally? It's just they're just not coming out and doing licensing for us right now, because they asked if anybody wants to guest spot, and I said, well, people want to guest spot all the time, but you can't get a temporary license right now, so I don't think that's a thing. I would hate for somebody to get in trouble just because you want to guest spot in Vegas. Let's see, what else? Hello, guys. Yeah, so like Joey was saying, and someone else commented on here, he's going to be a slave to his craft for sure. Says,
I'm a happy slave.
Jesse said, love you guys.
I'm a
Dude's going to be a
slave
slave to his craft for the next year. Can't wait to see what kind of magic you put out.
Yeah, thanks. So that's what I'm saying. The people that...
Definitely lots of really amazing projects, but...
So the people that are still wanting to get in, just save your money, and I'm going to keep getting better. So, you know... I have a lot of girls that were wanting to get in, and then once they found out the pricing and everything, they're like, oh, I got to save. So, but some of them are working on reinventing themselves, new body weight goals. They want to lose a little more weight. Some girls want back pieces, and like Michelle, she's got she has a short torso, so she has a couple of rolls, creases, and you can't really do a back piece. So, you know, they're going to lose more weight, and it'll be like a reward for them for their transformation and the hard work.
Yes. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. She said she's happy for us. Even though she can't get in right now, she's really happy for us.
Thank you.
Jonah Doom wants to know if Joseph has ever accidentally poked himself while tattooing, especially with the wireless tattoo machine.
No, not the wireless, but I've probably stabbed myself like hundreds of times.
Yeah. He actually has some little dots that almost look like he's got stippling around...
A lot.
His it's like your middle finger on your left hand. Yeah,
look at all
it
this.
It looks like stipple shading.
Yeah, it's all over.
Well, some of that purple is stencil stuff on there, guys. It's not
on my face too.
Yeah, he got stencil on his face earlier, and he used a Clorox wipe. And he's like, it's burning. And I was like, why are you using a Clorox wipe on your... It was like the bridge of his nose and his eyebrow.
My ass if we don't have wet wipes. You know, it's extra clean. It's lemon scented.
Oh my God.
Right?
Not recommended.
Not recommend. I believe it even says that probably on the package.
Don't wipe your asshole.
Well, not specifically that.
Don't use it as makeup remover.
Right.
But also, why we're closing the books too is that we still have to, when the borders open, we still have Canadians, Europeans, and Australians to get back in to finish their projects. It's not fair to them to have to wait a year and a half, 2 years when, you know, it wasn't, they wanted to come, it's just the government wouldn't let them leave. The Canadians can come, the Canadian clients can come here, but not only are they spending a good amount of money, they would have to quarantine for 2 weeks when they got home. So that's another 2 weeks of not working. And, yeah. So that'll be very expensive tattoo.
Yeah. So to come here.
Out, my rate, and then travel, and then 2 weeks of not working. Right now I'm using a 1005 Da Vinci. I use the 1005 on all the dots. I use the 1003 for all the scales. And a Type 7 for the regular. Whoa.
Samorina said she hopes someday you'll give a course. She loves your work.
I think I will. I can do the whole, like, from design to putting the stencil on, and then my approach.
222, thank you. She said, so cute. Your relationship shines through.
Like I was telling her, it's you put a lot of you invested in me. That's why you're like, I'm not jealous. I'm just protective of what I fucking emotionally,
It's a lot of fucking work.
and physically invested in this man. So like my first wife was a dancer, and so I went through only dating dancers for a while, and then I went to hairdressers, and hairdressers were just as crazy as strippers. They just keep their clothes on at work. But pretty much the same craziness, the good kind, the fun. But my point is I went through a lot of hairdressers, and then my wife was in a salon getting her hair done, and she said it got awkwardly quiet because I had hooked up with a few of them, and one goes, "Girl, you a legend around here. You tamed the beast." What'd they say? Yeah.
You just said it. Did he just say it and then he asked me what they said?
Did I say it right?
Yeah, just not with the enthusiasm. She didn't say it like that, but those were the words.
You remember you were like, I was so uncomfortable for a minute, and then
yeah, I was like, why are they all staring
said
at
the
me?
elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We all tried to lock that one down.
Samuel Vasquez. I'm sorry for the confusion that you must have, but he did start at the bottom of the tattoo. He said, why won't Joseph start at the bottom of the tattoo?
I already did.
He did.
Who starts
Literally,
at the bottom twice?
That's the bottom. And up there is still stencil. Weird.
He might be in Australia.
Where the bottom is the top?
And toilets
flush backwards, yeah.
Uh-huh. How do you know ours don't flush backwards and theirs is normal?
Hey, you don't say that.
You should check out our new shirt. Can't hear the phone so she can see her. So Michelle is wearing my new Solon shirt.
Oh. No. You don't have to turn it around.
There's my new. No, she's got it. That's my new shirt. It should be dropping. Pull it down a little more. Over the big booty. It should be dropping around April, my birthday. They just gave me early release, but this is something that I painted during quarantine, and I think I'll have
somewhere.
Yeah, it says right on your booty, Joseph Haefs. I'm pretty excited.
Thank you.
And honored.
Lovely assistant.
Okay.
So she's a dog hoarder.
She is a dog hoarder. She
I'll
has
rescue her.
9 dogs.
Right.
I was asking her, I was like, so what is the trick to keeping harmony? But you said that every dog knows where their place is for their bowl.
Oh yeah. They
Who
know the
gets fed?
order,
Yes.
Everything. Yeah.
So how did you just repetition of doing it the same way every single time? And they're like, okay, I'm next.
Yeah. Painful, slow process, and each edition is another whole thing.
And you said that they're all very sweet, but there's one that's kind of an asshole.
Oh god, he's the worst.
What breed?
He's a Beagle Bulldog.
What kind of bulldog?
Huh?
What kind of bulldog do you know?
We just know like Staffordshire Terrier.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he's the biggest jerk on the planet. And then my other one that's oldest, he's psychotic and like loses his mind sometimes. So I've had so many dog bites from those two fighting, and I break it up, and I'm always like Mama Bear, just
What's
like
the best
dive
way to get
in
into break dogs up without?
Not the way I do it. Not the way I do it. You're supposed to grab them from the back end and like pull their legs out from
Yeah, I've
but
heard
I
that.
always just like hands in, trying to like
Separate the faces,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Your hands in the fire.
So don't do what I do.
Right.
Any tricks to training to like housebreaking? Because you were a rescuer, yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
I have no tips. I need tips.
So your husband's like, oh, fuck, another one.
Yeah, pretty much. I need tips, and I need tips on how to say no too.
Right.
But
I bet you get people that call you too, that they're like, I found this dog, Bexley, do you want it? Can you take it?
oh my gosh, I have I've had 3 offers to take in a pregnant dog the last few weeks. So.
You just got rid of a litter of puppies, you said.
Yeah. So
Oof.
maybe another one in my future.
The shirts will be out soon, guys. They'll be on the Solon Clothing
April.
website in April. And
you
at
can get them
Buckle stores.
Buckle picked it up.
And no, it's not in black.
No, just mustard yellow. That's funny. That's what Uncle Jeremy goes, man, I wish it was in black. But it's seasonal. Maybe they'll do another line
They
in
could have
black.
done it in brown. That would be
Maybe
closer.
we can do it in black, too. Maybe we can ask them if they want to.
Well, it's got so much black in the shading that
Or white.
I think it goes well on
Yeah.
mustard yellow.
Mustard yellow. You like my new Solon hat? I'm loving these new ones.
Yeah.
These will be out in spring as well. These ones aren't out yet.
Yeah, you guys will be able to buy the shirts on the Solon website, and yes, I believe they ship to the UK.
Yeah,
they're
they ship everywhere.
worldwide, yeah.
They have UK Solon artists out there.
You said my bubble is very big. You mean my butt? Yeah, I know.
It's my favorite. It ain't your beauty. It's your booty.
That's not nice.
It's both. You're the whole package.
You better say that.
And the wrapping.
You better say that, or else I might accidentally drop your lunch meat on the floor before I make your sandwich.
As she does.
Never know. The secret's in the sauce.
Period blood and my fresh juices.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm not nasty like that. You know that.
There's girls that'll do that to like trap their dudes. They'll put it in there. It's some kind of like.
That's so gross.
What?
Yeah.
Who does that kind of shit? That's just
Some of the
wrong.
witches I talk to will tell me that's like
Oof.
their.
That takes a lot of work. I'm sorry. I don't have time for all that shit. And I would not put your lunch meat from the floor in your sandwich, because I even dropped an apple when I was making your juice today, and I let Luna eat it.
Aww.
Yeah, and then she attacked
Did she tell you
Hula
she
for
was
it.
calling our Frenchie Chunky
I was calling her Chunk, because she's just so, she's like,
in the
so
front? She's just.
she's just a brick house,
Yeah,
and
she gets so crazy when the food comes out. It's like something.
she's
takes
so
over her.
excited.
She
Yeah.
foams at the mouth.
Well, yeah, she does. She foams at the mouth and everything. But I was calling her Chunk, and the vet, I was like, so what do I do to get her weight under control? And she's like, she's fine. She goes, she's just spreading out because she's 3 now, so she's getting a little bit wider.
Her waist is like
And
super
also,
small.
she goes, I would be willing to bet that the new puppy is so lightweight that it's making you think that she's heavier than what she is. And I was like, oh, and she goes, as long as she's got her little hourglass figure, she's fine. She's got her, like, she's just very busty in the chest.
She did not busty. She did not like Hula. She did not like.
No,
her
she didn't like
puppy. She
her.
was like,
No, they're best friends.
And
Except
she
for she got food aggressive on her today, and I put her outside for 15 minutes to cry.
Food aggressive.
Yeah, they both had their little piece of celery, and Hula's taking longer to eat it because she can only take little puppy bites out of it. And Luna went over to get it, and Hula tried to protect it, and Luna fucking chased her underneath the dishwasher.
Our friend Brian, he feeds his bulldogs carrots and broccoli. I was like, be careful on the carrots. It's got a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
And the only reason we know that is we used to go to this.
There's a little town called Oatman, Arizona. Have you heard of Oatman? It's
Cool little town.
Yeah.
Oh, you're flying.
Yeah, it's a little town. It's in Arizona, but it's closer here. It's by like Searchlight, Nevada.
It's an old western town. It's really, really
Yeah,
cool.
it's like an hour and a half from
But they have a
here.
shitload of donkeys. And
They just run
feed it
rampant.
carrots. And this lady's like, stop feeding them carrots. It makes them crazy from all the sugar.
Oh.
They
And
get
so
very aggressive,
Very aggressive, yes.
and they'll accidentally bite you trying to get to the carrots.
The celery is good to feed the dogs because it's got water.
Yeah, it's a good weight loss treat, and they love the crunchiness of it. Celery, cucumbers, apples, as long as there's no seeds, but only a little bit.
Why do the seeds fuck with
They just don't digest them well.
Arsenic in it.
And apple seeds.
Right.
Oh. I was like, I just figured it was because they don't digest them well. So one day, we're sitting at the house. You'll love this. We're sitting at the house, and I'm sitting outside on the patio reading, and Joey comes out, and he goes, man, these dogs love fruit. He's like, it's like the 4th apple wedge and like the 3rd grape they've each eaten. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, those are top 2 on the list of things you don't give them. And he's like, you're joking with me. And I'm like, no, I'm dead fucking serious. He's like, no, you're not. And I read the list, and he's like, oh my God, there's like 4 out of 7 things on that list that I've given them. He's like, I thought, why can't they eat the grapes? And I was like, oh my God.
And I was super stoned, so I got all paranoid. I let him kill the dogs.
He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He just kept watching them and watching them. I was like, they're fine.
How about the time that when she was only like 6 months, she ate one of my joints that I was like,
she ate a half a joint.
All afternoon, I was like, where's this fat joint that I rolled? I only took a couple puffs and put it out and fell asleep. And I couldn't find it. And so she'll run from one side of the house and she'll clear this little step. So she's running and then she just like barrel rolls and falls on her back. I was like, what the fuck? And then we noticed she's just kind of doing this. So she took her to the vet. Check out what this vet tried to run.
So I take her to the vet, and the vet goes, oh, okay. He goes, well, is it possible that she got into any like chemicals, like cleaning chemicals? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I was like, I have children, so they're under the cabinet locked. There's no way she could get it. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, what about any alcohol? And I was like, we just have never kept alcohol really in the house. I was like, so no, that's not a thing.
I like to party.
Right. He likes to party, doesn't it, at home? And I was like, no. And he goes, how about any marijuana? And I was like, oh, fuck. So I called and I was like, babe, remember that fat ass joint that you said went missing? And I was like, yeah, I think Luna ate it. And he goes, oh, fuck, that's what happened. Okay. So I tell the vet, and I was like, it was weed. She ate half a joint. And he goes, okay, well, we're going to have to keep her overnight for observation. We're going to give her an IV, and we're going to give her some x-rays, and it's going to be like $1,300. And I was like, so why are you giving her x-rays? And he goes, well, because if she had a joint, there might be other things in there. And I was like, she's like a fucking goat. I was like, there's like Nerf darts in there. There's probably a Hot Wheel. She eats everything she can find. She like literally walks around snorting and sniffing the floor. Yeah. She snorts around and just like, she'll eat any lint balls, you name it. But she loves Maddox's Nerf darts. And I was like, there's all kinds of shit in her stomach. And I was like, we're just worried about the weed. And he's like, well, we should do blood work just to make sure. I was like, to make sure she's high, because we know she's high. And he's like, well, we should at least keep her for observation overnight. And I was like, why would you keep her for observation? I was like, is somebody going to be here 24 hours a day? And they're like, well, no, but our vet comes in 2 or 3 times a night. I said, you're going to tell me that he's going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and come across town to check on my dog? And I was like, you're full of shit. He's going to look at maybe a video camera that's in the back room and make sure everybody's acting normal. I was like, I feel more confident sleeping with her in my arms. And if anything happens, I'll take her to the ER vet, the overnight ER vet. And they were like, well, and I was like, how much do I owe you for coming in and you helping me figure out that my dog ate a joint? And they were like, $50.
Wow.
Yeah. But I've been to this vet before, and she had broken her pelvis. And so they were giving her...
Yeah, when I first got her, she was so small. And I have this recliner. It's a very old leather. And you got to like... to get the fucking thing to go down there.
She was underneath the chair in the dark. Anyways, they were giving her laser therapy to, you just fractured it. It wasn't broken. But it was, she had a small fracture in it. So they were like, oh, we'll give her laser therapy for the inflammation. So they were like, it's $35 per visit. And so I went for like 3 visits. And then on the 4th one, I was like, you guys don't have like a package where I can just prepay for these? And they're like, yeah, we can. She's going to need 10 total. So it's, or 10 more total. They were like, it's $600 for 10 sessions. And I was like, wait a second. It's $35 per session or $600 for 10. I was like, that's backwards. Usually it's cheaper when you buy them in bulk. And they were like, no. And I was like, you guys are just a racket in here. And I was like, holy cow. I was like,
said, there's a lot of people that they're dogs. They treat dogs. I know people that treat dogs better than people treat kids.
Yeah, true story.
So they're like, no, whatever. And they play off that.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool, though, about one of the 2 things that I like about this pandemic is that no more fucking buffets of wasting food. And 2...
There's one buffet still open, I heard.
What?
At South Point.
And 2, because they throw all the food away. You can't. I used to, when I worked at a casino, when I met her, I became friends with some of the managers in the casino. I was like, hey, can I get some of that food to feed the homeless? They're like, oh, dude, we have to throw it away because this homeless can sue us if they get sick.
Right.
I was just always like, man, they waste all this food. You know, I've been guilty of it. Of my eyes were bigger than my stomach, or I'm just like, ooh, this looks good. I'm like, oh, this tastes like shit. Next. Now the other thing is the animal shelters out here
Are empty.
yes, they were so full.
And they used to be so overcrowded.
Now when we had to put our Jackson down, the Boston, there was only 3 dogs to choose from, where there was usually 300.
Yeah.
That is
Because
like
they did
super
something
high.
at the beginning of quarantine where they
that's
like
so funny.
basically gave the dogs away for free. Just if you can adopt one, come get them. Because that stops a lot of people from wanting to save a dog's life. So that's the thing that always kills me is that people want to save a dog's life, save them from getting euthanized, and then you charge $250 for an adoption of a dog who I have no idea what their personality's like. Even if they're 6 years old, you want $200? Like, how about just let people come get the dogs?
Yeah, but they have to fund it, you know.
Right. No, I
They have to-
understand that to an extent, but
And I think too, like it shows investment in the dogs that you're like.
it
Dogs are
does.
expensive.
They are. It does.
And so I think it's like a double-edged sword because yeah, some people like, but it's important that you're like willing to invest and accept that it's a big responsibility taking on that little life.
I like
you
that.
know?
That's a good perspective.
No, I understand that perspective of it. I just think, like, rather than putting a dog to sleep,
Totally.
wouldn't you rather it go home with someone?
Totally.
You know? But sometimes it seems they'd rather put them to sleep than lower the price. You know?
Remember when we found that bulldog? And we were on our way down, and we're like, it was just here. Ended up being our friend who got it.
And that, no.
It was Serene,
There
right?
was, yeah, but there was 3 other dogs that had disappeared. Serene ended up getting it from someone else. She got it from, so people will go down and, so if you get a purebred on there.
Right.
No, here's the thing. You get a purebred. It was a purebred English bulldog. What happened was a bulldog rescue or whatever came in and got her and then sold her to Serene for $500. So they upcharged it. They were like, ooh, anything you find that's purebred, give them to me and then we'll split the difference kind of thing.
And I was like, we just saw it. It was 15
And they were like,
minutes
no,
ago.
that dog wasn't here. And I was like, you're funny because I screenshotted it with its serial number and the name of your place. I was like, it's right here. And they were like, oh, that's a mistake. And I was like, no, the mistake is that you got caught. Somebody scooted that dog out the back door. And the only way we knew it was the same dog is she didn't change the name and they had named her Kona. And I was like, that's so
teeth,
funny.
those teeth.
I was like, I was looking at the picture I had saved on my phone and I was like, is this? And she's like, yeah, that's my dog. She's like, I got her from a bulldog rescue. And I was like, it's so weird. She was at the Animal Foundation yesterday.
So weird. Wet outer space.
Wet space.
Stupid bolt.
Anybody have any interesting topics or anything interesting you did this weekend? Yeah, people always take advantage of animal lovers, right? How do you get your stencils that size? Magic. That's what the wand
Stay
is for.
tuned for
It's
my-
magic.
I will. I'll
A
put out
magician
video.
never reveals his secrets. What machine is it? This is the Bishop wand. The loiner and the packer.
The Liner 5.0. They go pretty quick because they are game changers. Like Franco said, the guys who were talking shit about it now own them.
Haha. What's going on, guys? How long does the battery last? The battery is separate from the wand,
This is
actually.
the B charge. It lasts like at least 12 hours.
12 hours.
You don't have to take the cartridge out because it has a motor that.
Let's
there's a
just say when
kickstart.
it's fully charged, it's never died on him, even during his like 10, 12-hour sessions. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the east side of town. Look at you. You're still just laying there like it's nothing. Usually that hip area, people are like, okay.
And then they'll shove their hip up into my hand, which makes the needle go deeper. And you get a little blowout.
Yes, Joseph is still clean and sober.
Saturday, I will have my first 30 days ever, 100%. The longest I've ever been 100% sober since I was like 14, 15. And I'll be 42 in April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I miss the weed. I don't miss the not watching TV. We're still not watching TV, Netflix movies.
Nope.
It was just a huge distraction escape for me. Kind of like my yogi today was just talking about depending on things outside of us to make us feel. And, you know, there's great shows and there's great things outside of us for a treat. But if you're always depending on everything outside of you to make you happy, you're going to be miserable. Just like material, you know, people just, it's like whack-a-mole. You switch it, you stop an addiction, then you become I gamble. Like, I'm not gambling either. You go gambling, and you're a shopaholic, or overeating, like anything to get a feeling, and not just trying to go within. And that's what yoga's teaching me. I just knew, like, the more I was watching TV, it was depressing me. It was hurting my soul, and I was just like really sad that we're always talking about. Oh, we haven't talked about a movie or a show at all, huh? I want to have, those are surface level conversations, and there are great shows, and there's so many funny things, but I just thought it was sad that I can just quote so many shows and movies. I want other things to talk about. I just want to, knowledge, readers are leaders. Knowledge is power. All those cliche sayings
they're not actually cliche. They're very true.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but it's for a reason. I'm going to speak another language. I'm going to learn how to play an instrument.
I just want him to start playing the saxophone again so he can play Can't Touch This by MC Hammer for me. Because that's what he used to play.
That was punishment. I had to do summer band camp. And there was no girls
This one time at band camp
that were obsessed with playing the flute. None of that happened when I was at.
Shame.
Did you say shame?
Shame.
You're funny. See? Quoting a movie.
Exactly.
We used to have walls of movies. Now, in our new house, we got a whole big book
library.
Yeah, like even with one of those moving ladders.
Anthony Cruz, he said you should play "It's a Man's World" on the sax. That'd be awesome.
I want to learn. I really like the trumpet.
It's a man's world. What time is it? It is 2:35. Which means we're not going to be on here much longer, guys. Roach the Man, I do have it hanging right now in our house, but we haven't moved into our new home. We actually just bought it on Friday. So, and the people who currently live there are renting it back from us until the end of May. So, we aren't moving in just yet. So it is, Mike Suarez's painting is not currently hanging prominently in our house. But we do have, we actually have two huge paintings from him. He painted one for me as a gift of Elton John, that's really huge. And then we have one of our children that Joseph commissioned him to paint, as a gift for me. Yes. That's a good memory.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to let them get back to work because this little lady only has a couple more hours before she has to head to the airport. And we'll check back in with you guys later on. Keep an eye on his story, and you'll see the finished product, well, or at least as far as they get today, on his wall later. Any last thing you want to say, babe? He's focused.
Space is wet.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Bye, Bexley.